Hello, everybody. I wanted to have a quick chat with you guys about why I pursue music. Now, I know that I've done a recent video and it's been about how much makeup means to me, and throughout high school, I never wore it. It was really when I left school that I started learning about it myself, and you know the story, you've seen the videos. But music to me is quite a different sensation of achievement. I remember when I was back in school, I did have a lot of opportunities with music. And the funny thing is, I didn't really think much about my interest in music until, I actually sang in a band. So one of the musicians in the band had actually written the song and she needed someone to sing it, but she was too nervous to do that. And I was in another group initially, but I don't think they were very reliable. So they asked me to join this group instead. And I just took the liberty of helping the band out and singing it, singing the song for them. And I wasn't really too excited about it because I think there was a bit of pressure performing in front of people at the school, and I still had very low self-esteem. So to actually pick up someone else's song and sing it for them was just a little bit overwhelming, but I did it anyway. And I was so proud that I had, because they really needed somebody to sing, and not many people in my class at the time were willing to help them out with that. And I felt this incredible power, control, and just feeling like I was leading something incredible. And when I did perform, it was actually in an exhibition. So we had this so-called art block and lots of paintings around, people walk in and out. So there wasn't exactly an audience, and I don't think it was made aware that the band was performing. But when it happened, I didn't really mind who was listening, but I know my mum heard it, and she's always been really proud of me, my music love. But a couple of other people were hearing about it, and I was getting a lot of compliments about my voice, and it was just really nice to hear that. But I was also really glad that I could support that group. And I'd spent a lot of time in a music room at school where I would play the piano. A lot of the times I would just go in alone because I felt comfortable playing for myself, not for anybody else. And then there were other performances that I did later on that it just really, it built me up. Do you know what I mean? And I would even like sing in somebody's house, come out to some sort of special occasion like Christmas or something like that. And the feeling of performing is something powerful again, but it's almost like I'm in another world. Like I'm just carried away by the feeling of power, the feeling of just so confident and knowing this is what I want people to hear about me. So what's similar though with my love for music and makeup is that it's a voice, right? When I'm doing my makeup, I'm talking about what I'm doing, the steps that I'm taking. And with the music, it's also having a voice to tell people this is my story. And I know that there are so many different stories out there that people tell about their lives when they're musicians, because obviously some are a lot more relatable than others. My story of my music is not going to be the same as somebody else's story. I couldn't, compare myself, that's a word, to Elton John, to Taylor Swift, to Lady Gaga. Everybody's story is different, but a story is a story, and sometimes it's so important to make sure that you let the world know what your story is, because other people may actually be going through something very similar. I'm very thankful with my story of music because I love to sing, as you know. I write my own songs, I play the piano, I've been learning how to play guitar. I still feel like I have a long way to go with my guitar playing, but I haven't given up on it. And it's the whole idea that musicians should still be able to have a fairly big income, not just the ones who so-called make it. You should still be able to have an income for the music that you create. And I've had so many people in my life encourage me to keep going with my music, because it's a voice. It's a way of saying, this is who I am. And I have had times where I didn't think I had a voice. I didn't think I was right to speak up for what I believed in. And so that whole idea is, you probably have heard of other people who are musicians and why they did what they did. And music was a way of capturing that moment of victory, knowing that not everybody understands who I am, not everybody knows what I'm going through, but they'll accept who I am eventually. And with the voice, I'm able to be happy with who I am and not afraid to say what I really need to say. You look at people like Taylor Swift, who had some unfortunate circumstances where they may have been taken advantage of, and you see her as this powerful human being, who I certainly do. She's got so many followers and fans, that's the word, the fans and people who look up to her. But there's also this side where she's a female, and females in the music industry, sometimes they don't get the credit that a male musician gets. I don't know the whole industry of music, but I do know that there are certain parts where women are still treated like they're not as good as a man. They're not as meaningful. And I didn't have that so much. Like, I'm a musician, yes. Whatever comes my way, obviously I'm going to be doing my best to overcome it and enjoy the challenge. But I guess what I'm really trying to say here is when I was working in childcare and before and after school care, it was actually before and after school care that I broke. And I don't really feel the need to tell everybody this story because, I don't want people to think that I'm a victim or that I lost a battle or something like that. But genuinely, I didn't think I was being heard for something that happened in before and after school care. And to be honest, I was having quite a few battles as a female leading males, and that not may not be a big thing for some of you out there. You may actually have had a lot of easy times being a woman and leading men, but I haven't had the easiest times. I haven't had anyone hurt me, but I certainly have been treated disrespectfully about being a woman leading, a couple of men in the industry. And what I've found though with music is that I'm able to speak up a lot more about, maybe not that, but other sort of times when I haven't had a voice. I remember one of my last performances at the Hotel Queanbeyan, it's in Canberra, and I let them know that there are all these musicians who've been doing their best to tell their stories through their music, because there's all this pressure which they shouldn't have had, but unfortunately it overcame who they were, where they were gay or they were bisexual or anything like that, just seen by, I guess, the industry as not being right or whatever, and they didn't cope very well. Whitney Houston was one of those people. Elton John's come a long way, but he's accepted who he is. But you do look at some of those musicians who didn't actually get to truly be who they were. I didn't know that Whitney Houston was gay, and when I found that out, it didn't change my perceptive of who she is. She's an incredible singer regardless. She's a good looking lady, and it's really sad that she wasn't able to publicly have a relationship with a woman. I don't know if it was to do with the woman so much, or it was to do with, the, I don't want to call it paparazzi, but like the people who were supposedly her publicists and all that, trying to make her music career really big and successful. But I want you guys to know that whatever success level you're at, you should not be surrounded by people who don't want you to be successful and who put limitations on that. If you want to be in a relationship with a certain person, there should not be any limitations about that, or I guess, you need to be able to have the choice, is what I'm saying. You need to be able to love someone because you love someone. And I even wrote a song about that, because there have been many people out there who, I don't even know if they were singing so much for the fame, but they were singing because they had a really great voice. They had a story to tell the world. And then they were really suffocating themselves with their personal life or their love life, because they weren't allowed to date somebody that was the same gender, or whatever it was that the publicity didn't think was right. And I totally believe that loving someone because you love someone is incredibly important. It's who you are. We don't live in this world to follow other people's standards to be successful. We follow our standards to be successful. We should have the right to say, I want to be with somebody because I love them, not because there are rules out there about who I can love and what's good for me. And that's just It's bullshit. It's not fair. And you see me, I'm not married to somebody because other people wanted me to. I married him because I love him. And he's my best friend. And I'm so lucky that we found each other back in 2016. I think that was like when we met each other. And that's what you need to know, is whenever you make the choice to be successful, there shouldn't be this idea of the only way you can be successful is this. There should be so many other, options to allow you to have a really happy life of being successful. And success is something that's measured by you. It's not measured by other people. Do you feel happy with where you are? Do you have what you need to have? And that's what I want to teach Celeste as well, is that she has the right to love whoever she wants to love. I hope that she loves because it's someone that loves her back. I mean, it does help to have, a two-way street. And I know it might seem like I'm getting off track here, but music has really helped me have a voice. I have friends who are musicians, but they haven't kept going with it because I think they're scared sometimes of what other people think. And I've come a long way to not care what other people think. There's always going to be somebody out there who has something nasty to say about what you do and who you are. But as I've said to you in previous videos, it's their problem, not yours. And the advice that they give you, it could be something that they've never done themselves. So they just feel the need to say something because it just allows them to be heard. And that's not necessarily, helpful. But, what my way of dealing with it is just let them say it, but doesn't mean that you agree with them, And I've been so lucky to have, I was even talking to my mum yesterday about this, I've had music lessons. I've had piano lessons, I've had guitar lessons, I've had singing lessons, and all my teachers have been so helpful, beneficial, talking to me about music. And I haven't done it, with the idea of I'm so good at it, and seriously, I'm not good at it. I do it because I love it. There's this sensation inside of me. It's like, oh, I've been able to speak about what's been happening. I feel good now that part of whatever's happened. And maybe some of you can relate to this movie called Music and Lyrics. It's a really good story because the person who was taken advantage of is, I know it's through music, and how do I say this? So she wasn't taken advantage of through music. She was taken advantage of through her writing, because she was very good at writing. And then they wrote a book about her, and it's just, you'll have to watch it yourself. But the song that was written to help her speak about what happened, but what I'm saying is in a way to overcome it, it was so worth it. I'm not saying that people write songs about what they've been through. Sometimes it's songs that they write after what they've been through and how they overcame it. So you don't know what the story was that led them to write the song. Sometimes people are very, straightforward about the song that they've written, and other times it's how they coped with it. And then it's just like a, sorry, I'm going to itch your head. And then it's just a sense of relief because it's like, okay, so this situation happened. I'm over it now. And I've got more things to look forward to. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. But I do hope that whatever thing in your life you pursue for success, you do it because you want to do it and you make up the rules yourself. Don't be surrounded by people who tell you that the only way you can be who you want to be is with these rules. Break the rules. That's what we were meant to do in this world. We were meant to create things. We were meant to make the world a better place by living life openly. And we live and we learn. And if you are a musician out there and for some reason you've sealed your lips because society has told you you can't do this, then you've really got to remind yourself of why you became a musician in the first place, because I can tell you now, it's not the reason that other people have told you how to be who you want to be. See you later.